during our lifetime here on Inside Africa Network TV with me, Super Gallo. Talking about things that belongs in the dream realm, but that are now reality before us. One Africa government, something that is happening in African Union project, pilot projects happening, everything happening. This is great. This is beautiful. This is something I really like and feel good talking about. So we are broadcasting live, and I am happy. This is the first official broadcast where you, my people, are going to hear about what the African Union insiders are saying about the pilot, about the One Africa government that is being tested in so many ways within the African Union circles right now. Something unannounced, something kept, underground. Why? Because Africa has got enemies of progress, people who are benefiting from our disunity, us being divided. It's benefiting them a lot. So my African brothers and sisters, my African people, this channel and me, Super Nexus, on Inside Africa Network, this channel is going to be big. This channel is going to be everywhere. This channel, the African Union guys, when they see this, they celebrate. They know their baby, which is the One Africa government, now is being told to the people. Now the people are being told about it. Now people are becoming aware about it. It's us as Africans uniting from each and every corner of Africa. And it's happening here in Africa through the African Union. Of course, something which is a big project that started a long time ago, that is still happening this day. So One Africa government briefing, I want to really get into more details with you so you understand more. And I'm going to get into the details with you now. So I would start in by saying good evening to every single citizen, every thinker, every builder, and every sovereign mind tuned in across this continent and across the worldwide diaspora. If you are watching this live broadcast right now, it means you have locked into a frequency that was never supposed to exist on public airwaves. My name, as I have said before, is Super Nexus. Up until this very moment, my role, my identity, and the network operating behind me were kept strictly behind high encryption protocols and closed diplomatic doors. But as of tonight, the radio silence is officially broken. The veil is coming down, and the record is being set straight once and for all. For months, people have been watching this channel, reading the leaked files, talking about Zimbabwe, talking about whatever, looking at the intelligence reports and asking the exact same questions. Who is running this network? Is the One Africa government real, or is it just a blueprint? Who are the actors operating in the shadows, and how deep does this web actually go? Tonight, you are getting the direct briefing straight from the center. First, let us talk about who I am and who stands behind this screen. I am Super Nexus. I do not operate as an isolated individual or a rogue commentator sitting in a room with a microphone. I am the direct central relay point for an active, highly sophisticated intelligence and strategic alignment network that operates at the highest levels of continental governance. When you hear from me, you are hearing the combined intelligence, strategic calculations, and operational directives of a core circle of figures who have been quietly engineering the future of this continent while the world was looking the other way. You have heard the code names dropped in previous transmissions, but tonight I am outlining their exact operational authority. You have Protocol Black, our central whistleblower mechanism operating directly out of encrypted servers embedded within the African Union complex in Addis Ababa. Protocol Black is the eyes and ears inside the administrative halls, intercepting every policy draft, every foreign diplomatic cable, and every intelligence dossier before it ever touches a press release. My people, you have Chairman Shadow, the chief executive strategist behind the political architecture, while foreign embassies spend millions trying to figure out which political party or faction is gaining ground in individual capitals. Chairman Shadow operates above party politics, designing the long-term structural alignment that binds the continent together regardless of who wins a local election. So, you have also the economist of Addis Ababa, the financial mastermind behind the AfroGold reverse mechanism and the systematic dismantling of foreign debt leverage, while traditional central bankers are still sitting in meetings begging foreign clearing houses for liquidity. The economist of Addis is quietly auditing physical gold reserves, building decentralized trade ledgers, and restructuring how 1.4 billion people interact with global commodities. And you have General Umoja, the supreme coordinator for the One Africa Defense Force, while foreign powers build drone bases and attempt to secure military footprints under the guise of security assistance. General Umoja is consolidating tactical air defense shields, tracking foreign naval movements off our coastlines, and securing critical mineral corridors from Matadi to Katanga. These are not fictional concepts. These are operational roles within a synchronized machine. And I, SuperNexus, serve as the public nexus point connecting their intelligence directly to you, the people, us. Now, let us address the most critical question of all. What is the current status of the One Africa government right now in real time? So I am going to state this as clearly and directly as possible, so there is zero confusion left in the minds of foreign intelligence monitoring this broadcast or citizens listening at home. The One Africa government is not a distant utopian dream set for 50 years in the future. It is not a theoretical white paper sitting in an academic vault. As of this exact moment, my people, the One Africa government is an active operational test project operating at the highest diplomatic level across the continent. Behind closed doors, away from the public political theater, the leadership of every single individual African state has already signed on to the foundational diplomatic framework on paper to the public and to international bodies like the United Nations. You still see 55 individual borders. You still see separate flags, separate passports, separate embassies, and separate presidential press conferences. But on a high level, diplomatic and intelligence layer, every single one of these individual state governments has agreed to be kept in check by the supreme authority of the One Africa government master architecture. Think about what that actually means. Think about it. It means that when an individual state attempts to sign a predatory resource deal with a foreign power, the One Africa government framework steps in and overrides the contract. It means that when foreign military forces attempt to exploit regional divisions to establish a base, The joint command structure under General Umoja sets the operational perimeter. It means that when foreign financial institutions attempt to enforce crippling austerity measures or debt traps on a single nation, the financial engine under the economist of Addis steps in to backstop the currency using physical continental assets. For the past several years, this entire project was classified as a top African secret, African Union secret, right? It was buried under the highest layers of diplomatic security. It was kept out of state-owned media. It was kept out of foreign news broadcasts. The goal was to build the institutional architecture, construct the data infrastructure, align the military command structures, and secure the central votes in total silence before foreign powers realized that the game had completely changed. My African people, let's go. So, why am I standing here on a live broadcast breaking that silence tonight? Why is this information suddenly hitting your screens? Right. Because in the world of high stakes geopolitics, information is never released by accident. If this intelligence is reaching your phone, your laptop, and your group chats tonight, it is because the Executive Council of the One Africa government wants it to be known. The phase of quiet construction is officially over. The framework is fully built. The security grid is live. The financial architecture is tested. The individual state governments have been aligned. The leadership wants foreign capitals in Washington, London, Brussels, Paris, and Beijing to know that their old playbook of divide and conquer is officially dead. They want foreign trade envoys to know that when they travel to an African capital to negotiate a mineral deal, they are no longer dealing with an isolated, desperate state official. They are dealing with a unified economic superpower controlling 30% of the planet's critical resources. And most importantly, the leadership wants you, the 1.4 billion people of this continent and the millions across the global diaspora, to wake up to the reality of the power you actually hold. For centuries, the global system trained our people to view themselves through the lens of scarcity, division, and weakness. We were taught to identify strictly by colonial borders drawn in Berlin in 1884. We were taught to view our neighbors as economic competitors or security threats. We were taught to beg foreign aid organizations for development funds while foreign corporations extracted billions in raw gold, lithium, cobalt, oil, and diamonds every single year. Now, the One Africa government test project was designed to completely reverse that psychology from the top down. When you look at the master plan being executed right now, every single piece connects to form an unbreakable chain of absolute sovereignty. When we talk about the AfroGold reserve, we are talking about taking the wealth that sits under our feet, pulling it out of foreign votes in London and Switzerland, locking it inside the high security deep earth votes under Addis Ababa, and using it to back a currency that cannot be printed, manipulated, or inflated by foreign central banks. When we talk about the One Africa passport and the borderless digital ID rollout, we are talking about erasing the artificial lines that turned brothers into strangers, allowing an entrepreneur in Lagos to build a business in Nairobi, execute contracts in Cairo, and deploy capital in Johannesburg without spending months begging a foreign embassy for a visa. When we talk about the One Africa Defense Force, we are talking about a joint military command that secures our coastlines from illegal foreign fishing fleets, locks down our mineral corridors from unauthorized extraction, and deploys integrated missile defense shields so that no foreign power can ever threaten our skies again. When we talk about the Pan-African infrastructure grid, we are talking about connecting every major region with high-speed rail, lighting up the continent using the massive hydro capacity of Grand Inga and the solar power of the Sahara, and building local semiconductor and battery factories so that we process our own minerals into finished technology on our own soil. My people, this is not a political promise for a future election. This is the current active operational directive of the test project that is already keeping individual states in check as we speak. To every foreign observer and intelligence analyst monitoring this stream tonight, take this transmission as your official notice. The window for exploiting a fragmented Africa has permanently closed. The term sheets have been rewritten. The landlord has returned to the property, and the terms of global diplomacy from this day forward will be dictated from Addis Ababa, not handed down from foreign capitals. And to every citizen, African citizen, watching this live broadcast with me, Super Nexus, you are no longer passive observers in history. You are the foundation of this network. Every time you share these transmissions, every time you discuss these files, every time you align your mind with the reality of a unified, sovereign, technologically dominant Africa, you are expanding the operational reach of the One Africa government. I am Super Nexus. The intelligence network is fully active. The state leadership is in check. The master files are open, and we are just getting started. Stay logged into the channel. Share this stream into every group chat. Turn on your notifications and stand by, for more files are going to be dropped. Welcome to the One Africa government. Peace. Peace. So we're really going to end this live broadcast here. This is our first official broadcast. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. Peace.